Okay, a while ago I made a couple of multi-part series. One of them was how to surface chucks in Plasticity. This is the result, the imported result in Blender. Then I made another multiple part series on how to make this guy, the ant, whistling and carrying a strawberry. The strawberry was another video. And surfacing such cartoon gloves. That was also another video. This lettering, that was another video. Let me bring the leaves. He's walking on some leaves. I've just copied them. These are duplicates of this stem leaves. And of course, the mega star of this multiple part series was this Venus guy. I made all these videos, but I didn't make the final result, which should be a kind of a movie poster. And this video will be a short walkthrough on how I arranged all these different models in one scene, colored it, how I made the lighting, and what I did afterwards in Photoshop. But before continuing with the technical walkthrough, I would first like to talk a little bit about composition, as this aspect of 3D modeling is often neglected. We spend too much time on modeling, but we forget the presentation of our hard work, while things like rendering, lighting, shading, compositing, and post-processing your 3D work are what make or break your model. So I have played around with the composition quite a bit, and I made the ant bigger and smaller, and I played with all kind of, not only the ant, I played also with this guy. And the title and how I could arrange it, because the way you arrange it tells also a little bit about the story. So you can make this guy, the Venus flytrap, the hero of your composition. I decided to make the ant the big hero and the Venus flytrap as a menacing guy in the background. And this is the composition I came up with. I left here a little bit of space for adding some typography here at the top. This is the size, 4961 to 7016. And of course, while playing around, I wanted to show as much as possible of all the hard work, but you have to make some sacrifices because you cannot show everything. For example, the fork is completely gone, but that doesn't mean that you should model everything, because having complete models give you the freedom to make arrangements without any boundaries. You don't have to worry about showing some incomplete parts if your models are complete. And by the way, you can also use them for other purposes, like animations, obviously. Again, one might think you have spent so much time on making a detailed character, but now this guy is hardly visible. I mean this Venus flytrap. But now the main goal isn't any longer to present the character. The main goal is to create the perfect composition using these characters. And if the character disappears in the background here, like this Venus flytrap, so be it. Let me show you the rendered version. I have used a special cartoon shader by this creator. It's an awesome shader, and you can achieve this type of effects. So on the one hand, it's a 3D illustration, but on the other hand, it has some pop art style detailing, like these dots and these lines and whatnot. Interesting combination between 2D and 3D, and that's what I like the most, and play around with the best of both worlds. And that's, by the way, what the channel is about. Model your stuff in 3D and bring it back to 2D. Most of the time we try to reach perfect and photorealistic results. My main goal is rather to use this awesome technology, this awesome workflow, this 3D stuff for artistic purposes. I won't go into the detail of the cartoon shader. The creator of the shader has an awesome video on that. You can check it out for yourself. This one. And you can play with the different parameters for yourself. You can experiment. There is no specific method, so you have to figure out your own way. I have rendered these different elements, these single elements separately, so I can work on them separately in Photoshop. So I have rendered the title separately, then I have rendered the leaves separately, the leaves here on the floor, then the ant, The Venus flytrap was obviously a separate render for itself. And here the scene consists of multiple area lights. So in this case, the area lights, there are important because you can give them color, and the color influencing the color of your model quite a bit, because the shader is designed that way that it is affected heavily by the colors of the area light. And one thing concerning the camera, I have used the depth of field with the focus on the end of the empty of the end, this guy. So everything else is a little bit blurry in comparison to the strawberry, which is a part of the ant. And that's how I have rendered this. So let's switch to Photoshop and I will show you the layers. This is the final image. And let me make a quick walkthrough. Here I have added the background, then the Venus guy, the flytrap. Then I have added some plants I have found on the internet. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. If there is some stuff on the internet which works for you, which is legal, go for it, use it, and don't waste time to model these guys also yourself. Here the leaves is another layer. So with the title I have played quite a bit. Here I have colored only the bottom part. I have given it a reddish type of look and a gradient by masking out the red effect. Is the shadow for this guy. And I have always played with the light and shading by using these green layers. I have them several times in my file. Then of course the ant. It was too dark for me, so I made it a copy and made it a linear dodge. The stem was completely white. There wasn't any structure anymore. So I rendered it separately so that I have some detailing going on here. The nodes as well, they looked like this. So without any color. So I rendered them also separately and gave them this greenish color or this green color. Here is a vignette. And here I have added this light ray, which comes from above. This looked too flat and I wanted to have another focusing element on my end. And after making all these adjustments, I have duplicated all the layers, flattened them, and gave them again another effect with the camera raw filter, the color vivid effect. And I like to use this camera raw filter as a finishing touch. So I duplicate all the layers, flatten them, and give them a final finishing touch with the camera raw thing. And I added my logo. So that's it. That was my walkthrough and I hope you liked it, and see you in my next 3D to 2D project. Peace!